Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today I want to talk about this thing right here. This is the Ryobi P3240 Project Vacuum. What is a project vacuum? Well, that's a really good question. But before I get to that, let me tell you one thing about this. This is an older model. This is, I've had this about 1.5 years now, and I've been using it all the time. Every day up here in the shop I use this. The new model has a few differences, but it's basically the same vacuum, so I don't mind talking about this one here and recommending either this one or the new one. What are the differences? Well, there's 3 differences with the new one, and they're about the plastic molding of the case for the most part. The tools that come with this little thing here and this here are in different locations on the new box. Not really a big deal. The big change is the way they've molded the plastic. This thing now is part of the Ryobi Link system. So if you have the new Ryobi toolbox on wheels, this will snap into the top of it and fit. As you can see, this looks like a toolbox. It's nice and square, and they've maintained that shape, but they've molded the bottom so that it goes into the Link system, and that's really the big difference. The other difference is I believe the hose is fractionally wider, which is actually a good thing. This hose is great, by the way, but it's a little narrow. It works for what this tool needs, though. So for the most part, the same thing. So I'm going to talk about mine, but if you're shopping at the Home Depot, just remember there is a newer model. Now, what is a project vac? You know, I struggled with that for a little bit. It's a little bit different than a regular shop vac. Ryobi has, I believe, 3 vacuums that are in the 18-volt 1+ line. That's right, this is battery powered. Best part about this vacuum by far is this battery right here powers it. They have a smaller one, like a 1 gallon, and they have a 5 gallon. This one fits in the middle nicely, and this is the one that's the project vac. And the reason it's a project vac is because you have this beautiful handle here. It's shaped like a toolbox, and you take it to the problem. So if you have a job site you got to take it to, you go to the job site and you use it. If you have that Link system, you put it on your cart with your toolboxes and you cart it away and you go to the job site. Now, the neat thing about the way this thing's shaped, the 4 amp hour battery is flush, so the top is perfectly flat. You could stack this on any cart system if you have the Milwaukee cart system. I have the DeWalt cart system. You know what? I'm going to put mine on the DeWalt system right now and show you how it works. So as you can see, guys, my DeWalt system, obviously the toolbox does not snap in like it would in the Link, but it sits on top of there nice, and I can kick this up and I can wheel it around wherever I want. It works very well. Alright, so there, as you can see, it works fine with my DeWalt system, but that's the beauty of it. You take this to the job site with you. It's built to be carried, it's built to be used in your hand like this. It has this hose that looks very nondescript, small little hose. The hose is the second best part about this tool. The battery being the first, this hose is amazing. I don't care how you treat this thing, what you do, twist it up, tie it in a knot, it stretches, take it out of camera view, bring it over here, take it out of camera on this side, it snaps right back and goes in that case. Meaning it's very flexible, but it comes right back to where it belongs. So, as you're traveling with this thing over years, you're not going to have this hose that's dangling. You're not going to be walking down around worrying about your hose dragging behind you. It's nice and rigid. It comes right back. Actually, rigid is the actual long term. It's very flexible, but it comes back to its spot where it belongs. So you're not going to be tripping over the hose, and there's no cord to trip over because it's battery powered. Okay, one other thing I want to tell you about this, and this might be a negative to some of you. You know, I mentioned how good this hose is, but it's this hose and these 2 tools that come with it. One of them being the crevice tool. This is good in your car, getting into corners and things. And the other being the basic, you know, wand, whatever they call call this the normal thing you use like a vacuum. What it doesn't come with is the long tubes that you would see in most shop vacs to do the floor. This is not considered a vacuum to vacuum the floor with. given that this is probably a second vacuum that you would have in the shop. I'll be honest, I have about 4 shop vacs. Now I use some to connect to some of my power tools, which is why I have so many, but I would have one more that has a bigger capacity and does the floor. This really is the tool that I use to go around at little spills and messes and clean them up. And I just use it like this. I almost never even put this tool on. I just take it out and go like this and clean up. But that's something to be cautious of and be aware of. You're not going to get the long tubes to stand up and do your floor. It's not really built for that. Now, how do I use this? Well, I use this mostly in this room right here. I do take it down to the basement as well, and that's my project where I go to. I don't really go to job sites anymore, so I don't have to take it with me out in the truck, but I can. And speaking of taking it to the truck, this is an excellent tool to do your car or truck's floor, to vacuum it out, to clean it. It's very easy to carry out to the vehicle. The battery lasts long enough to do the whole vehicle, or 2 if you have 2 to do, and then come back in and charge your battery back up. It has a good enough battery with this 4 amp hour to get you 20 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes of time to actually vacuum out both of your vehicles. So it's great for the vehicles. But in here, I go from tool to tool. Now I'm working here at the bench right now, and if I had mess on the bench, I would just take it out, pull the hose off, and I can go, with it sitting right here, I can very easily clean off everything on my bench. And then let's say I go use the drill press. Well, let's go to the drill press and clean that up. Oh, hey guys, so here I am at the drill press, and you know, I made a mess. We grab our shop vac, or our project vac. You know, I'm going to say shop vac a few times. We grab our project vac, and it just cleans it up. All right, guys, so there you see, that's my take on the little take it to the project thing. I took it over to the drill press. As you can see, you can take this thing anywhere you want. It's very easy to move around. It's also a wet dry vac. Now let me show you something here. When you take this thing apart, it has these 2 clips, and the top comes off. And yes, as you can see, I do use mine. You see some of those videos on YouTube where it's nice and clean in here. You want to take this filter off, and my filter is a little dirty right now because I've been using it. The easiest thing to do is to clean the filter off right in here when you're emptying it. You can blow this thing out. It is cleanable, and if you lose it, it's replaceable, and it's very easy to just snap right back on with a little quarter turn like that. But we want it off to do the water, and we also want it empty. So I'm going to empty this real quick. Okay, now that it's empty, we can do a little water test. So let me go grab some water for you. All right, everybody. We have our Free Harbor Freight bucket, and as you can see, I'll do this. You can just see we got water in there. Let's see how it does. Okay guys, just like that, she's empty. I can tell you, I put 1 gallon of water in there and it did it in what, 8 seconds? Pretty good. Let's open it up here and see what it looks like. And there you have it, guys. She's full of water. This thing is about half full. I would say this is probably not a flood situation type of vacuum for water. This is a spills picking up water. It picked that gallon up really quick, but I don't think you have room for much more than another gallon in here. This is a 3-gallon vacuum, but that's the whole capacity of this thing. These things shut off when this ball, this green ball, rises with the water. As soon as it hits the top, it shuts off. So you're not going to get a full 3 gallons in here. You're going to get probably, 2.25 gallons, which will happen in probably 15 seconds. So if you got a flood on your hands, this is not a big enough system, obviously. But if you got some spills, it'll clean it up, and it'll clean it up really quick. So it does really good with water. All right, let's get it back together. Okay, guys, here's a better view of the water vacuum system. I've got the vacuum. You can just see it here out of view. It's up on the bench. So I'm going to run the vacuum up on the bench, and down here I have a 5-gallon bucket with water in it. And I'm going to stretch the hose down and suck the water up onto the bench. Let's see if it can handle this task. Okay, that was very interesting. It started sucking the water all the way up and then stopped. I had to pick the bucket up. When I picked the bucket up, it was able to bring it up. So extended all the way out about 4 feet, it wouldn't suck the water that high, but it did suck the water from about 2 feet. So, you know, you're gonna have to probably bring your vacuum down to the level of the water to do the job. But, you know, all in all, it did take the water in. All right, so as we could see, the water test was successful, but a little bit of a problem. It would not suck all the way up on top of the bench. It started to have a problem. I had to pick the bucket up. Once the bucket got about 2 feet from the vacuum, it started sucking the water in, and it did empty the bucket. So obviously, you want to bring your vacuum down to the water level. It will work fine. Oh, look, we have a mess on our bench. We have a mess on my shirt. But we have a vacuum, so we can fix this. You now see my #1 use case for this vacuum. I clean my bench top off. But not only does this vacuum suck, careful, it also blows. Really be careful. That's right, it's a blower. And the way that works is you take this tool right here and you go to the ejection port, which is right here on the side, and there's a little bit of molding here. And this piece, very conveniently, snaps in to that area and covers the ejection port. Then you take your hose, and with a twist, it comes off, and one of these ends, this end, fits in there. Alright guys, so if you're one of those people that like to blow your bench off instead of clean it off and vacuum it off, I'm not really one of those people. I don't like putting the dust in the air, but this tool will take care of it for you if you want to do that. Here's how. I already showed you how to hook it up, so what we do is we just turn the vacuum on now. And it blows everything away. Now, let's be honest, you're not going to do your lawn with this. The leaves are safe, but you get some stuff on your bench, you want to clear it off, it will blow the bench off nice and clean. It's just another option. It's right there, and it works. All right, guys, one more thing I really like to do with this tool, that's sanding. When I sand with my random orbit sander, my Ryobi random orbit sander has a port that this fits perfectly. I just put the Project Vac right up on my bench, and I plug it in. And you got to give it a good old push to get it to wedge in there. It can slip out. I'll be honest, when you pull on the flexible tube, it wants to pull out. But if you get it wedged in there good, turn the vacuum on. does a great job at that. So it absolutely can work as a dust collector for your Ryobi power tools. One of the best things about this tool, it's battery operated. It's in the Ryobi 1 plus 18 volt lineup, and it's battery operated. The hose is excellent. It's very ergonomically shaped. It will go into the link system of the newer one. Mine worked on my DeWalt box very well, as you saw. It's a great little tool. I love it. I use it every day. I keep it right down here under my bench. And every time I need to clean my bench up, I don't sweep it on the floor. I vacuum it off. It keeps the bench very clean. All right, everybody, you know, as I said at the beginning, this is an older model. The new model has a few different features, mostly around being able to fit into the link system. The handle's a little different, the bottom shape's a little different. It's the same tool, basically the same setup, same hose setup, the nice flexible hose. It's a great vacuum. The vacuum itself, mine works the same as the new one. I don't know if you can find this model anymore. I just looked at Direct Tools Factory Outlet, which we know is the store for Ryobi's refurbished and blemished tools. Didn't see any there now, but you might want to check there. The new model is selling for $129 tool only. I think I paid $79 for this one, so the price has gone up with that link system connection. So I would say shop around, check Direct Tools Factory Outlet, see if some of these show up. If you're in the link system, absolutely you want the new one because you want it to be able to snap into that system. I think it's a great tool to keep around the shop. And if you're somebody that travels a lot, this is much easier to travel with than, you know, a round shop vac with the hose hanging out and the cord hanging out. This is a very easy pick up and go to the job site. Obviously, that's a great part of this thing. It's on the battery system that we all love. I really like this tool, so I hope you like this. If you did, please hit the like button. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.